Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to make sure that everyone is comfortable with knowing where to get peer-reviewed journals and how to tell the difference between peer-reviewed journals and how to find them. So we're going to begin by taking a look at our website, the sjlibrary.org. Now, when you first go in here, you want to go to the San Jose State portion because that's going to get you into where you need to go for the peer-reviewed journals. So once you go ahead and do that, then you want to go to Articles and Databases, go into Biology, and my two favorite databases are going to be JSTOR and ScienceDirect. Now, I want to be really specific. So these are going to be electronic databases of copies of peer-reviewed journals that are actually in print somewhere else. So these are peer-reviewed journals that have been written by people that actually took part in the research. And so they do exist in a published form, in a paper published form, but because we have the ability to scan them in, create PDFs, and have an electronic database of them, it makes it much easier to store them, a lot more space saving, obviously going to be a lot cheaper to do so, and it gives much easier access. So whenever you get anything from JSTOR or ScienceDirect, these are going to be what we call peer-reviewed journals. Now, these are two that I want you to really focus on. Just because you get it from the library does not mean that it's a peer-reviewed journal. There's lots of databases on the library that will have secondary literature, things from National Geographic or Scientific American. Those are considered secondary sources. And I want the bulk of your references to come from peer-reviewed journals. So let's take a look and see how we can tell the difference between the two. So we'll go ahead and go into JSTOR. Now, if you are off campus, you'll need to sign in with your library PIN and your library number. This will come directly from the library. I cannot help you with this. But since I'm already signed in, let's go ahead and just do a quick search. So I'm going to make it really general. You want to make yours much more in detail because we're going to get a ton of hits on this. So you got 47,000 hits, that's a lot, but we just want to take a look at what a peer-reviewed journal looks like. So this is going to give you all of the citation information. And you can either click on this directly to get a quick view, or you can download it as a PDF. So essentially the things that are going to tip you off that you're looking at a peer-reviewed journal, they're going to be really plain. They're going to be black and white. There's not going to be any graphics really. There might be minimal amount of data in a graph or something, but there's not going to be pictures. You want to take a look for the citation information. There should always be citation information somewhere in the journal. For example, Journal of Zoo and Wildlife Medicine. This is going to be that volume, the 27 you see here, and then the issue is going to be in the middle of these parentheses, number 2. These are going to be the page numbers, 266 through 270, and this is the year of publication. Then it gives you exactly who wrote it. Right? And it gives you an abstract, introduction. All of these things are going to be headed so they're easy to find because peer-reviewed journals are going to be a tool. Now, if you wanted to look at it within the web browser, you can, again, or you can download it. But really, they're going to be really plain. They're going to have a very official type topic or title. And you want to make sure that it doesn't look like a magazine. Right? Because if it looks like a magazine article, it's probably a magazine article. So most of your information needs to come from these peer-reviewed journals that look like this. When you're reading the peer-reviewed journal, you really want to focus on the abstract, the introduction, backgrounds and significance, and the discussion area at the end. Really the middle part, the methods and the results, is going to be technical heavy, and you can kind of skip over that at this stage in your academic career in terms for this class. So let's take a look at what would be a non-peer-reviewed journal. So one of my favorites are going to be Scientific American. Scientific American is a great secondary resource. This is going to be something where it's a published magazine. They have excellent articles, well written, well researched, but it's not made from the people usually that actually did the research. So this is called secondary literature. So if you wanted to use something like that, this is fine. You can get usually copies of their published articles after they're off of the newsstand. They also do blog type of stuff, but if you're going to use Scientific American in your paper or something like that, it needs to be from their actual printed version. So let's use our term monkey and see what happens. So we're going to take a look, and then, again, this is going to be your secondary resources. Sometimes it'll say news. Sometimes, it'll need to be something that if you're going to use it for a print resource, that it was printed at some point, and it'll give you usually a print date. So this is not going to be something that is a print. This is just a little preview of it, and sometimes it asks you to purchase it. But again, this is going to be secondary literature. Anything with a lot of color, anything with a lot of advertisements is going to be secondary. So other reputable sources that you can use a minimum amount of reputable websites. So something like this. So this is the EPA website. With these type of resources, they are able to be used because they are reputable, something with a .gov or something like Britannica Online, which is the online portal for Encyclopedia Britannica. These are great, but they are considered web-only spaces because they aren't in print anywhere. So the difference between something, so this is going to be a website. This is going to be a website. The only place this information exists is in a web space. It's not physically printed anywhere else. It's not physically published. However, even though we're technically on the internet looking at these copies of printed peer-reviewed journals, these peer-reviewed journals that come from databases like JSTOR and ScienceDirect are considered print resources. So you do not put the URL on these things that are going to be from the journal databases. So I just want to be really, really clear about that, because this is going to be something that we call a peer-reviewed journal. It's peer-reviewed because the peers of that particular research area have reviewed the paper, and it is the gold standard of information in the sciences and in research. So this is the type of stuff that you want to make the bulk of your information on your paper come from. You can use reputable web sources if you'd like. There's the minimum is going to be on the paper handout, but essentially you want to minimize those, and you're going to cite them as this particular website, and you want to make sure that they are in fact reputable. So that's going to be the difference. You want to look for these types of papers that are going to be plain, that are going to have very scientific look and feel to them, and if it looks like a magazine, it probably is.